everybody, and thank you for joining us for this episode, and a special episode it is. We are here with Simon Yu. He is the CEO and co-founder of StormX, which a lot of people have been recognizing lately in the crypto world, especially with their StormX token. But we're sitting down here, we're going to go over a few things with him and kind of dig deep into both the company, himself, as well as the tokenomics of the company, which, by the way, was started in 2014. We didn't know that. It has over, what's that?
Crypto OG.
Crypto OG started in 2014, has over 3 million downloads. It actually knows a thing or two about tokenomics because they just revised them last year in 2020. So I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Gorman, and crypto analyst, CJ from marketrebellion.com. And Simon, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. We really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, guys.
It's our pleasure. So the first thing I like to do real quick with guests is, one, find out how you got to be in crypto, what road led you there. And then after that, tell us a little bit about StormX before we head into all the questions.
Yeah, so when I graduated from college in 2014, I got a job in banking as a middle market underwriter. And yeah, I sort of saw the insights of how much the banks were collecting on terms of fees, and then at the same time, Bitcoin kept popping up on the news for all the wrong reasons, right? Like Mt. Gox, the Silk Road. So it's always like money laundering or drug smuggling. But I became curious about the technology, so I started reading the white paper, and it got me just deeper and deeper into it. And one of the things I immediately realized was that this was going to disrupt transaction fees and how we send value across the world. And that got me really interested because I thought this would disrupt banking, happen to be in that space, but sort of the next evolution of fintech, because like you can send, Bitcoin for like $100 for fractions of a penny back then, to somewhere halfway across the world, where with a wire transfer, it would cost you more than $100 with the foreign transaction fees and the wire fees and all that stuff. So became really interested. And while I was working in banking, I had also started a food truck business that was based out of something that I started in college because I needed some side income. So while I was doing that business, I happened to meet my co-founder, Calvin, who is a programmer from the same university that I went to. And then we would always geek out about Bitcoin all the time. And he had built this app that rewarded a very small amount of Bitcoin for watching a short 30-second video. And the first idea was like, you earn 0.2 of a penny for watching a short video. And I thought, this is kind of dumb. Like, who's going to use this, right? But, looking into the numbers, the app growth was pretty significant. And I thought there was something there. And so sort of the two things that we found out was, one, the transaction fee thing, allows us to scale globally, right? So not a lot of products that rewarded money or some sort of, value could scale internationally because the transaction fees were so expensive, especially with small amounts like that. But even with a couple cents, it actually made it possible. And then two was, there wasn't an easy place to earn money online. And both my co-founder and I, having sort of self-funded our college education and living expenses and stuff like that, we were always hustling and trying to find different ways to earn. And so we wanted to build a single app that had, basically just all the different types of ways that you can earn money. So we built the microtask function, and then we also launched the, cashback app recently as well in the past year or so. So, and then in the future, like several years down the line, we want to launch a freelance gig economy within the same app as well. So, come to our app to just find all the different ways to earn money online.
And stay employed. Real quickly, I want to ask about the food truck. What kind of food was it? It gained a little notoriety in the West Coast, and so made it to a few newspaper articles.
Yeah. So yeah, when I was a sophomore, my parents had a small business, and then it didn't do too well, so they declared bankruptcy. So I was paying out-of-state tuition at the time, and I just told my dad, like, hey, I'm gonna drop out and just save money for college. And so while I was taking a gap year and I was working full time, I was working as a bank teller, but I was making barely above minimum wage. So I didn't have enough money for rent, so I started delivering Korean tacos to kids around campus. Like, I don't know if you ever tried like Korean bulgogi tacos, but it's pretty good.
Korean tacos.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it like melts in your mouth, right? So Seattle, I thought it'd be a great place to just do deliveries just because it rained a lot and people studied pretty late here during campus, but there's also kind of sketch. There was a lot of like shootings and stabbings and stuff. So uh, the people didn't want to go out that late. So I started like a late night delivery, food truck delivery business. And then at that time, it wasn't a food truck. It was just a Korean taco delivery business. I was just doing everything by
It was a
myself.
guy on a skateboard or a bike.
No, I had a car, thankfully, to protect me from the rain. But yeah, I did all the cooking, cleaning, driving, and all that stuff for myself. And then yeah, I started growing pretty viral, and then managed to go back to school, graduated with a degree in finance. Yeah, managed to just apply for like every scholarship and grants out there, and then yeah, when I got the job in banking, also had enough money that I saved up from teaching myself how to trade options, and then launched a food truck with a couple buddies of mine. And yeah, the Bomba Fusion food truck, it was closed down unfortunately, but yeah, it was pretty popular in Northwest, in Seattle area. It was one of the first Korean Mexican food trucks here. So yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Well, now we know about you and we know how you got here. Tell us a little bit about StormX and then we'll dig into it.
Yeah. Yeah, as I mentioned, StormX has been around for a while. My co-founder had just built something out of his dorm room, and I eventually joined full time. And during that process, like we were trying to raise money in like early 2015. We're mentioned to any investor saying that we had a Bitcoin startup, and everyone was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? A drug smuggling, like money laundering business?" And we just gave the like nastiest look. So
was this like Silicon Valley? I mean,
oh, well, yeah, it must be Seattle. Yeah, so Seattle's supposed to be this big tech hub, but still, it's not like a huge startup scene in terms of like funding. Like, yeah, it's definitely Silicon Valley's where it's at, but yeah, it was just yeah, we got nasty looks, and so we ended up bootstrapping for several years, and then we eventually got funding. Our first product was we built this microtask platform where you can check out different apps, try different products and services, and get paid in crypto or Bitcoin. But then in like early 2017, Bitcoin transaction fees started becoming really expensive, and so we pivoted to Ethereum, and we kind of had this like oh shit moment because like in 1 week we were supposed to send about $6,000 in payments, but then it would have cost us $10,000 to send. Like, okay, this isn't going to be sustainable. So we ended up pivoting to Ethereum, but then Ethereum jumped from like $10 to $430, and it just started getting really popular. And then we ran into sort of the same issue. So that's when we decided to create our own token, and we have a patent on this as well too. We've used a combination of off-chain and on-chain tech, so we don't just congest the Ethereum network all at once. But then yeah, and then 2018 hit, and we had a huge crowd sale. It was successful, and our market cap grew like sort of out of control. We hired a big team to try to meet all the expectations, but then the bear market hit. Like, we saw a huge drop in our revenue, our users. We ended up having to like go on with the skeleton crew. Just it was really tough to try to lay off a huge portion of our team, but we still kept going. But at the same time, building our next iteration of the product, which is Storm Shop, which is the cashback application where you can earn sort of like the Honey or Rakuten of crypto, where you can earn cashback by shopping from stores like Nike or Walmart, for example. But during that process too, we try to adapt our token economics model so it make more sense and make more useful with the product. But yeah, it's been a pretty crazy journey. Like, I've spent more than half a decade on this full time, and it's definitely the ups and downs in this industry and company alone are just pretty intense.
That's
So
great.
you mentioned Honey, and their deal with PayPal, I believe it was. They were acquired by something like 4 billion. Is on your site. Somewhat of a competitor, but not in the crypto sphere. One of the ways that you say you differentiate yourself is by having higher cashback rewards in crypto, specifically 2.5x. How are you guys able to do that as opposed to like a traditional one, more like Honey?
Yeah, definitely. So we we have a couple of really big advantages as to why we're unique from Honey, right? So there's a couple of like cashback services that use, Bitcoin as just a payment method, but ultimately it doesn't really do anything because users can just get fiat to redeem and then they can buy Bitcoin, right? So it doesn't like there's no value difference. But in our case, we tied our token economics to really have the strongest benefits for our most loyal users. So one, because we are using crypto, we are global. So right now we're in more than 150 countries right now, versus Honey, they're only in 4 countries, I believe: US, UK, Canada, and Australia. And that's because, fiat is really expensive to send value across. And then US is our biggest region in terms of users, but then we have really big users in like Korea, for example, UK, and like Netherlands and Indonesia. So our users are pretty diverse. So in terms of being able to scale on a global level, like we're able to do that a lot quicker because we can just reach so much of a broader audience. But then, going back to your question on the 2.5 times increase, so we have a reward structure. So the more StormX tokens that you hold, you can upgrade yourself, sort of like an airline membership program, where the more tokens you hold, you can get higher cash back. And one of the also downside of Rakuten, for example, is that you have to wait 90 days until you get your cash back, which is the industry norm. But if you're a gold, platinum, or diamond, you can speed that up to 75%, so you can get your cash back a lot faster. And then you can also, the token holders can also stake and get weekly rewards on top of it. So there's multiple different layers of cash back that you can earn. That's much higher than any traditional fiat company that's operating this way as well. And like you said, Honey was acquired by PayPal for $4 billion. So, if we can scale on a larger basis than they can, I do believe that, we have a lot more growth potential ahead of us. So
Hold on. So wait a second. So you're telling me they're getting cash back in StormX tokens, but also you're giving them the ability to stake as well?
yeah. So just think of it like airline program. Yeah. So the membership program is based on, what tier you're on, but you can hold the tokens and you can get staking rewards. You can also get active rewards for every time you shop as a bonus for being a reward member. But, unlike an airline mileage program where once you buy it, you're stuck with that forever, you can sell the membership whenever you don't want it, and then you can buy it back later if you want. So, that's one of the, really awesome benefits, I think, of having a crypto attached to it, as well as having that, freedom and value that you can, buy or sell depending on what you need it for or not. So
That's great. And I guess just for people who aren't familiar with StormX, how can they earn tokens? Like, how exactly does StormX work, and where should they be storing tokens to get, to maximize their rewards?
Yeah, give us some of that, the token ecosystem between whether it's wallets or, how the usual standard operating procedure is.
yeah, so we have a iOS, Android, and a Chrome extension. So, you can use the StormX app in any one of the platforms. And then, the basic app is, you pick a site that you would normally shop at. So there's, eBay or Walmart or Nike or Adidas or, all these different stores, and the stores are different by country. But pick a store, you shop like you normally would, you get cash back, and then you can redeem that for Bitcoin, Ethereum, StormX, Wi-Fi, DAI, or Litecoin. Those are the 6 cryptocurrencies that we support. But if you're a reward member, meaning that you attached your wallet with StormX tokens inside, then you can get upgraded to higher tiers where you can earn additional bonuses in StormX tokens. And if you're also a reward member, you can stake your tokens so you can earn weekly rewards on top of it. So it's, all these different layers of cashback, which is pretty awesome. But how the business works is, like we basically negotiate with all these vendors as sort of like a wholesale, right? So think of us as like a Costco for e-commerce. Like we help drive all these brands large amounts of sales, and so they give us a discount, which we pass on to the consumers, and then in the form of cashback, and we take a very small transaction fee for each transaction that happens.
I was going to ask you that, but in no uncertain terms, how do you make money, right? So how you're monetizing?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan, I'm going to let Ryan ask it then.
No, it's fine. But yeah, as soon as you finish that answer, I was gonna say, all right, that's all great. Cool, the token wants to know how you make money to make
Yeah.
sure it's a viable business, right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's, I think one of the things that makes us really different from a lot of crypto companies is we have a pretty good revenue model in terms of like, hey, when our users make money, we make money as well. And then also our vendors make money. So it's like, it's a win-win-win relationship. And then we also have a pretty good token economics model as well too, just because, you know, the more you earn from our platform, you can put it back into your wallet, and then you can, you know, be upgraded for higher tiers, and this sort of becomes a bragging right. And yeah, we've definitely seen, you know, more and more adoption with the rewards members signing up. And one of the things that we also take pride in is, you know, we don't hold anyone's custody of your keys. Like the user connects their Web3 wallet, so MetaMask or Trust Wallet, for example. You know, users hold their own keys. We just verify that the tokens are there, and so we don't have to touch it. Like, it's, you know, from a security perspective, it's very decentralized, and the owner is the actual owner of the key. That we, you know, that we take pride in that as well. So
That's great. Looking at your roadmap, you know, for the rest of this year, at least for Q1, you mentioned that you're going to add more top 20 brands. Can you give us a little bit of a preview on what you have in store?
so I can't give you the store names, but yeah, we're working on adding a couple more big stores. And yeah, just to your roadmap question, I think one of the big things that we're excited to launch is a crypto debit card where you can earn, you know, cash back for being also StormX holders as well, and spend crypto, and adds a fourth layer of earnings for us. So we have the cashback rewards, cashback staking, and then now we have, or soon we will have crypto debit card that offers cashback.
So if let's say you roll out a debit card program, are you saying that you're going to get another layer of rewards as a consumer for using the debit card as well?
Yeah. And so, I mean, you know, going back to our philosophy, we're trying to, you know, build a single platform where you can just earn as much money online as possible, right? And we're trying to aggregate all of that into one platform. So, you know, just creates more value for the users.
That's great. Going back to your ICO back in 2017, you raised over 32 million, which that's a nice chunk of change. When people look at ICOs, they worry about a handful of things. How many of the coins were sold in a crowd sale? Is the number of coins capped? And what is the ability of founders to sell the coins? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the circulating supply is already like out there for us right now, which is really good in terms of, I think, because like most people are using the tokens, which is a really strong point. In terms of like founders and stuff like that, we had a very small amount, and team tokens are like based on performance bonuses like every 6 months. So it's not like a huge amount, and there's restrictions on when you can buy or sell. So, but you know, I can tell you like our team is pretty, you know, we're excited about the things that we're building right now. So I don't think, you know, speaking from my personal experience, but I don't think people are selling. But yeah.
One of the things I want to ask is, you know, you have 3 million downloads, Simon, give or take, whatever. What is the current velocity of StormX in the downloads? And do you release numbers like how many people who are downloading are making purchases, you know, through the stores? But what's that look like? What's that growth curve look like right now for StormX?
Yeah, and so yeah, the 3 million downloads is from when we first started with the microtask app, you know, since 2014. But recently, our focus has been around Shop. That's a more viable product for us, and since we've launched that, it's been over 500,000 users in just a little over a year, and the growth has been pretty significant. In terms of like the transparency of the numbers and stuff like that, we post on our socials occasionally, but we don't have a dashboard. That's something that we do plan on building. And one of the things that we're excited about is we're launching governance in Q2, and we'll let the community sort of decide, like, you know, how many tokens should you require to be a bronze member, for example, or a diamond member, or what kind of store should we add, or what kind of cryptocurrency should we add on our platform. And there's a lot of decisions that the community can, you know, be involved in. And again, just, you know, if you're more if you're more of a power user, then you'll have a more of an influence to be able to vote and stuff like that too. So yeah, it makes the product even more towards the users instead of having everything come from a centralized decision. So let the users decide how the product should evolve, and we're pretty excited to launch this feature as well. So.
Very cool. CJ, anything from you?
Yeah, no, I'm just quietly.
Are you building it up? Are you like, do you have a stack?
No, most of the questions I was going to ask Ryan asked, but the one point that I do see here on the site is acquisition goals, and we did talk about PayPal's acquisition of Honey earlier for $4 billion. What is the end goal for StormX? Is that something you guys have thought about?
I mean, right now we're focused on building, right? I mean, crypto's still in such an early space, and I do feel that we are in a good position to be one of the products that has mass adoption. And I know it's a buzzword that's thrown around in cryptocurrency applications all the time, but one of our biggest focus is user experience, and trying to focus on making it as easy as possible for non-crypto people to be able to use this application. And like wallets and things like that. One of the things that we implemented is, just the Coinbase API integration, where you just need a Coinbase email address to withdraw your Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that way, if people are confused about this long string of text that's a wallet address, like 0x blah 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 blah, they don't get confused. They can just enter in their Coinbase email address and focus on there. We try to make the app more friendly, take a lot of feedback. Every day we're reading messages from our Telegram channel or Twitter, or looking at customer response, and I'm pretty active on responding as well too, and we try to develop as quickly as possible. But maybe we do get acquired by a big company, maybe we just become big enough, but regardless of how it happens, our goal is to try to reach 1 billion users, just because we can. We have a global product. So
yeah, interesting. I mean, one of the things that you just said that resonated with me, and what I think the future of crypto is making that ease of use for consumers, right? So you talk about Coinbase. I mean, I remember being out to dinner a couple of weeks ago with friends who just got into crypto. What's the first thing they do? They go to a place like Coinbase, they sign up. Why? It's easy. So if you're talking about making that easier, because the wallet addresses freak a lot of new people out, where they can interact and become comfortable purchasing from a platform like yours, you're already ahead of the game. So I think that's a great outlook. I mean, it's interesting how we had so many companies from the .com era, like Zappos and a whole bunch of other companies come up and try to do things. I think crypto makes it very unique in different things that you can come up with to incentivize and kind of excite, and I don't even want to use the word, but gamify, right? Make it almost fun.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. I'm glad to hear that you guys are instituting a community governance. I'm glad to hear that you guys are paying attention to that. From a tokenomics standpoint, that's a real big thing. I'm also glad to hear 500,000 users since you launched is no short feat. Especially in a somewhat crowded space. And I think, good things to come. I've downloaded the app. I'm going to continue to play with it and see what it brings. But I've heard nothing but positive so far with StormX. So it's a good thing. I think it's because of the food truck. But go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, I mean, everyone loves Korean tacos that's tasted them.
Oh my God, yeah. Korean tacos. How can you go wrong?
Oh my God. I love Korean tacos. One question I want to ask you before we go, Simon.
Yeah.
You mentioned all of the countries, or at least a handful of the countries that you're in. Which countries are you seeing the most growth from, right?
Good question.
Where is the most velocity?
Yeah. Right now, our top 5 are US, UK, Korea, Indonesia, and the Netherlands. But it's like ones like couples in Europe and couples in Asia and like the US and stuff. It's very diverse. So it's surprising. Like every month it's been changing. Well, US has been pretty consistent, and it's just that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. We did like absolutely no marketing in the Netherlands, for example, right? And like Brazil or Indonesia, but how did these users come find us? Like, it's just that's
Isn't that such an exciting feeling though, Simon?
Yeah.
When you see growth
Really
from
cool.
a region that you weren't targeting originally or hadn't gotten to yet.
Yeah, so I mean, this just shows you how global crypto is, and just shows you how much of a potential there is, launching a global product. So we're adding just new stores every day on all these different countries as well too. But I think some countries are pretty limited in terms of how many stores we have. So we have a big sign up list, and users request the stores. Our account managers go out and just look for all the different stores that they can add, and just trying to make it more useful every day. But yeah, just I mean, one of the things I think we do pretty well is we take criticism pretty seriously in the company. So if people have feedback, we take it to heart, and we try to see what we can do to improve it, and try to see how we can make it faster, because especially in early crypto products, there is a lot of confusion, especially with user experience. So if we can make it easier for people, and if one person had a question, likely 100 people are going to have the same question as well too. So we need to try to address that. So
one of the things that you've done that I love, you're not focused on the underlying technology. You're not focused on it being so like blockchain focused or tech focused. No one cares what's under the hood or how the plane gets to Europe. They just care that they wake up in London, right? You focus so much on the user experience, and it's something that so many blockchain and crypto projects can learn from. You guys have done a great job marketing yourselves, and I think water always finds its level, and I think that's why you're seeing that growth from areas you didn't necessarily expect.
Yeah, it's a great point, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, we are taking the great sides of blockchain with being able to be decentralized from a custody perspective, and launching governance and adding all these layers on top. But yeah, to your point though, it's people don't care if it's on a Bitcoin chain or Ethereum chain or whatever, as long as it's cheap and it works properly, right? So
Yep.
Our goal is to continue evolving and just keep looking at what's available and what we can do to just make it easier for everyone. So yeah, the space moves fast.
If I can just jump in, quick couple highlights. 250,000 new active users since February of 20.
Yeah, that's 500,000.
500,000 now, CJ.
Oh, I'm sorry. Over 3 million app downloads and over 700 stores all around the world. Not financial advice, of course, but if you'd like to invest in StormX or buy some Storm tokens, first, you can go to the app, StormX. Internationally, these are the places you will find StormX. And then in the US, our friends Voyager, you can go there and see them as well. So
I gotta give a shout out. You go back to that screen, there's three things. There's first, we got our buddy Steve over at Voyager. That's a powerful outlet for you, Simon. I see my buddy Max, who's the co-founder of MoonPay. He has you up there. And then who doesn't like the pink unicorn, CJ? I saw the pink unicorn up there. So Uni, very cool. Simon, we really appreciate you coming on to this show. You guys got on our radar. We are hoping to have you back to do a follow-up, as well as if there's anything that you guys achieve on your roadmap along your journey, we definitely want to have you on and kind of tell it to the broader audience. But from the surface here, Simon, it looks like you guys are doing everything the right way. Brian brought up some good points there with make it user experience centric. A lot of people just don't care about what your technology is or how you're getting from A to B, just as long as you get from A to B, right? So it's all good. And I think that's it it was a great first meet. CJ, you good for now?
Yeah.
Ryan?
All set.
All right. Simon, we're going to let you off easy because you had the right answer to a lot of questions, man. Folks, all of Simon's information, and by the way, he comes across as a very proactive person when it comes to handling feedback and criticism and stuff like that. So he came to us via Twitter. I'm sure like a lot of the good CEOs there, you're going to see him and his team in social media, answering those questions when you do have problems. They've been around since 2014. They got some ground under their feet. So you'll be able to find all of Simon's information, StormX information, all that below. Go check it out. We're capital market guys, Simon. So we'll be covering the token and how that correlates with your business path for some time here. So I'm sure we'll have some questions.
Okay.
But other than that, thank you for joining us, my friend. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks, guys.